Today, we are going to learn to draw a sugar skull. And if you'd like, you can go to our website at redtoadartstudio.com and download an instruction sheet that you can put in your file and always have this on hand. So, let's begin. Now, this is a sugar skull, but we're going to kind of make this for Halloween, I think. But anytime you want to do this is just great. So, our sugar skull, I don't know if you can see kind of what it's going to look like. The first thing we do is draw a circle for the top part of the skull. Now, we can freehand this, which is what I usually do, but I'm going to show you an easy way for those of you that kind of have trouble freehanding a circle, and that's not unusual. It's hard to freehand a circle. So I'm going to put it right up here towards the top of my paper so that I have a lot of room for the chin. And then I'm just going to draw lightly around this in case I want to erase any lines. At this point, we're drawing lightly. Now, I want you to be able to see this on camera, so now I'm going to go around it dark. You leave yours light, but I want you to be able to see this well. Okay, that's step number 1. Now, step number 2 is to draw from the middle. Just eyeball where you think the middle of this is. Draw a straight line. That looks like it's not quite middle. There, let's draw a straight line down through the middle. Just like that. Remember to draw lightly. And now I want to go down beyond this. Oh, about probably half the length of what we had there. So again, just eyeball it, come down here, make a little mark, and just draw this line down. Now this is a line that you will be erasing, so don't worry about how straight it is. And then halfway down our circle, we want to make a straight line across there. And these are just lines to help us measure and how to put in some of the, like the eyes and the nose and such. Okay. Step 3, we're going to put just below this, not very far, a straight line that, I don't know. It depends on how big you're making this. You may be making this on a big piece of paper or a little one, but this, maybe about half of this distance. Anywhere in that will be fine. Anything you do that has a different measurement will just make your skull look different, just like people are all different. Skulls will obviously be all different too, so it doesn't hurt. Don't worry about it too much. Then we're going to draw a line up like this. Okay, and then step 4 is a little straight line here at the bottom. Not real big. No more than half the size of that line up there. Okay, because that's going to form the bottom of his chin. Now, we're going to come here, and I'm going to make it, I'm looking at this. I think I want to make this a little wider, because I'm going to have an awful skinny skull if I don't. See, that's why we draw light. So I'm going to come in and make this wider. There we go. And now the next step is to come down. Don't go quite to the edge of that, and meet this down here. And it is just forming the jawline around that chin. Now, just eyeball it. If you wanted it a little wider, that's fine. This is your skull head. Well, not really yours, but this is your drawing of a skull. All right, next let's put in some circles for the eye sockets. All right, so bigger than what you'd think an eye would be. And not quite touching the line in the middle. You see that? Try to stay out of your way so you can see what I'm drawing. Now, the tricky part is matching it over here. That's always hard. But just take your time. Try to draw this inside line so it's about the same width apart from this line. It went up to the top, so I'm going to go to the top and just come around. And it's not going to be real noticeable if it's not exact, because mine's definitely not exact. There we go. Now we're going to start on the nose. Now start right somewhere right here. Come down to this circle line and make kind of a teardrop shape. Same here, come from that line. Come down. It's like an upside down heart. Do you see that? If you had turned this over, you would have drawn a heart. So now you've drawn the nose socket. There we go. So let's start working on the mouth now. The mouth, come down below this line. Oh, I'd say about here. You just eyeball it. Just come down a little ways to put his mouth. You want to leave enough room to put his teeth in here. So I'd say this is about right. And we're going to make a happy skull. I'm going to put some lines that go upward to make it look like he's smiling. Isn't that neat? Okay. We've already gone through 9 steps. Now we want to do some erasing. Let's get rid of some of these lines that we don't need anymore. This one that goes straight up and down, let's get rid of that. Now I'm going to hurry, but you take your time and erase well, because you don't want your finished artwork to have these lines in it. Now I'm drawing on mixed media paper so I can paint this with watercolors, and we will have a video of that so you can watch that and paint yours. If you're drawing on sketching paper or copy paper, that's fine. You can finish it just by making it a art that finishes with your pencil. You could use colored pencils. You could use markers. You could do all kinds of things if you're just on art or sketching paper. But if you want to paint it, you really do need to be on at least mixed media, if not watercolor. Alright, let's see how many. Oh, it's all kinds of lines. I want to get rid of those extra lines I drew in there by mistake. But who will ever know it? You wouldn't even know it if I hadn't told you. Oh, I see one step I missed. That's alright. We'll go back and get it after I erase. And up here. Down to the mouth. Let me get my eraser brush. Here we go. And we also want to get rid of this circle here. Now you can see your skull forming already, can't you? See how easy that was? Now if you want, one of the steps I missed, which was 11, we kind of smooth this out here instead of having a sharp jag there. So we'll do that, and I'll erase that extra little line in there. See, our skull is already looking like a skull. Now we're going to work on these eyes. I think the eyes are part of the cuteness of this. So in the center of each eye, put a circle. Try to match it with the other eye. Ooh, now he's looking at us. We've got our circle. Next step, we're going to put a flower in his eye. Remember, this is a sugar skull. We're not trying to make this look necessarily like a real skull. So we'll put those petals here. And then we're going to cross, put petals straight across here. And then we'll go between each petal and add another petal. It kind of looks like a daisy. Now you're going to color this flower any color you want. I'm going to try to use Halloween colors and fall colors in mine when I do paint it. But you can do whatever you'd like to do with your skull. Now I have used two different pencils here. This is your regular yellow pencil that you write your shopping list with or send to school with your kiddos. Now I really do like this pencil, and it is a HB for drawing. So if you have drawing pencils, you may like to use some of those, or just use a plain old pencil. It works just fine. Let's see, then around that, we did scallops, just like this, all the way around the eye. Don't worry if they're all the same. By the time you get it drawn and finished, you won't notice. There we go. Get scallops on my other eye here. Now, for cuteness, come around and put a little dot in the center of each one of those scallops. It's funny how that little dot will just fancy up your picture. Whoops, there we go. Okay, now let's work on the nose. All we want to do with that nose is kind of draw an inner nose. It's just the same shape. It's a small heart within a big heart. Just like that. We have the nose finished. Now on to the mouth. Let's just come along and draw some straight lines. These represent the teeth. Now you can either draw them all the same size, or they could get a little shorter towards the corners. All right, we're already on the second page. Oh, there's a picture of our guy. And come along now at the top of those lines and make a curved line, kind of like a scallop. It's actually the bones that hold your teeth in. Now let's make those bones a little thicker now, and kind of curl them up into your line that goes up from that straight line there. Now we want to go over, because we're going to make that a color or black. Okay, now we've basically got him done. We're going to add some more decoration though. We're going to add a flower up here and a few little curly cues just to fancy him up. So right up here, a half a circle. This is the middle of a flower. Just like that. A petal. Half a petal up here. You want to kind of get it, I'm going to make a light circle to show me how far I want to go. Just like that. And go like that. And one more petal in between. And we have a fancy little flower here on top of his head. There we go, I like that. And now let's do some little lines for the petals here. Just in the middle of each one, a little center line. Okay. Let me check. I want to follow this as close as I can, so if you have these, you'll know where we're at. Next, we want to add, this squiggle here. And just come along around the circular part of the outside of the skull. Come in and draw a curly cue. Take your time and get it as circular as you can. There we go. Now, that wasn't too bad. It's going to be harder to match this one up and do it the same. So let's see, my bottom of that should be about here, and I started about here. Let's give it a whirl. Take your time, and you know you've got an eraser if you don't like it. There we go. And we will need to erase some of these extra lines. And then there's one more little curly cue we put in, which is off of this one. Come about here and just do a small one right here. Just a small little circle, but come in as a curly cue. See that? And I should erase a little bit. Right there. And so we're going to come this way. Aha. And you know, from here you need to decide or know what you're going to do with it. If this is going to be a pencil drawing, I will go in and I'll fill in around the petals here. I'll fill in the nose and around the mouth. Let's see. I think that's about it. Mouth, nose, and eyes. And up here in the middle of this flower. But if I'm going to paint it or color it or use markers, you might want to wait and decide then if you want to do it with your pencil or do it with your other colors or markers. But he is basically ready, except for cleaning up any spots you missed that need erased, or you know, where you drew where you have too many lines. And if you're leaving it as a pencil one, come in and go over all those lines and get them nice and solid and fill in, and you will be done with it. Now, our next video, we will quickly ink it, and inking is just going over this with ink before I paint it with my watercolors. So we will do that in our watercolor video. I hope you enjoyed making this sugar skull. They are kind of fun to make, I think. And we will see you, hopefully, in our watercolor video. So bye-bye for now.